Okay, it is 7 o'clock. That's on?
Yep.
Okay. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting for the Franklin Township Environmental Commission was made by posting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, posted on the township's website, and electronically transmitted to the officially designated newspapers indicating this meeting would take place live at the conference room in the municipal building at 7 p.m. on August 7th. Okay. So that's the call. Next is the roll call. Okay. Walter Andrews? Here. Okay. Ted Chase? Here. Easy? Yep. Jessica?
Here.
There you go. Stan?
Yeah.
Donna?
Here.
Robin?
Here.
Maria?
Here.
Me? I'm here. Howard's here. And Potnick is not here. Not yet anyway. Okay, that takes care of that. I just have a very brief thing to do. I want to acknowledge the quick and thorough response to the residents' questions about neighbors' use of fire pits in the neighborhood. Robin, Oral, and our Township Fire Marshal all responded to complaints submitted by the residents. Unfortunately, the residents were not able to achieve relief. However, this exercise did clarify what is and is what not allowed. What I'd like to do with this is take this thing that we got and maybe post it on our website. I think that's a good place for it.
I would object to that.
What? This is from the township.
I know it is, and I have comments on it that I think are debatable.
Oh, really?
And I realize I'm going to piss people off when I say this, because this is a document from our, let me get it out here,
The fire marshal.
the fire marshal. But I know this isn't an ordinance, it's some kind of guidance document,
It's a guidance document.
right?
Yeah.
Second bullet point. The fire cannot exceed 3 feet in diameter and 2 feet in height. My first question is, are they talking about the pit cannot exceed it, or the actual fire cannot exceed it?
I read that to be the base of the fire.
What?
Well, it's not explicit.
It says the fire, though. I mean, I would think if it's the pit, it would say the fire pit.
Okay, but I think that they mean the pit, because 2 feet. Anyway, I'm just bringing that up. It's unclear, is the point. In the 1, 2, 3, 4,
The same one is in the state.
in the fifth one, well, going to the first paragraph, it says there are restrictions that residents must comply with. That says it in the first paragraph.
Where? The restriction.
Then it says in the fifth bullet point, outdoor fires should be at least 15 feet from a structure. Should be is not must.
Right.
Should be is a problem as far as I'm concerned, and I think that's what we brought to the attention of the township. Because should be is you can, you can't, and that's a fire hazard. The next two down, it says fireplaces should be located on a non-combustible surface. It should be, must be, or shall be. Just my opinion. Next one, the fire must be attended at all times. Must it be, or should it be?
It says must.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Right.
Then it says the fire should be extinguished prior to leaving the area. Should it be, or must it be? I think Smokey the Bear says it must be. So I think we should bring it to the attention to the township, to Mr. Warnlocker, that unless you guys disagree with me, that this should be looked at, because I think that I'm disappointed in the way this is written.
Did you guys get a chance, did you look at the Cranford ordinance? They have an ordinance on this. And I got it right here in front of me, and it addresses all your points. Maybe we should just adopt an ordinance and not have a guidance document.
I agree with you, but when they're saying in the fire department's, prevention department's document, that they're saying, you can do this and you can do that, you must do this, you must.
It's unclear.
It's not unclear, but they're telling them, you don't have to do this.
It's unenforceable.
Right.
It's unenforceable.
So there should be an ordinance, that's one, I agree with you
So we can't have suggestions.
But we know it takes a long time for an ordinance to be done,
Right.
in most cases. But when you have a document like this, that is saying,
Tara, can you?
you should be at least 15 feet from the structure, you should be located on a non-combustible, the fire should be extinguished, and it doesn't say must be on any of these things, I think it's a problem. I would not put it on our website, I would bring it to the attention of Mr. Vormacher and ask him, do you think this should be revised on the township website, and then also maybe adopted in some way as an ordinance?
And give me one sample one, so we don't have to rewrite them.
Woodwalker's email said that an ordinance is being prepared.
That's what I was
Okay,
gonna say.
well,
My understanding
good.
is they're working on an ordinance for
Well, that
this
ordinance should not be using
specifically.
the terminology that's used in the fire prevention departments.
I would hope that Lou Raymond would put in all the musts,
Right.
but we should perhaps have to see the proposed ordinance before it's introduced.
Cranford's is full of shall.
Yeah, I mean, and as I think I emailed to Tara and Ted while I was away, I made comments about some things about the minutes, and also I think I sent them a copy, I don't think I sent it to everybody, I sent them a copy of the DEP's, Chapter 2, 727, 2.3, overburning of refuse, and everything in there is shall, and that's something that we enforced when I was doing that work.
Okay, well, so they're working on an ordinance, the township is working on an ordinance, is my understanding, so I think we should just keep an eye on that and, you know,
Would
get a
you
look at
just
it.
forward the Cranford one?
For sure,
Mary,
yeah.
As an example?
But I'm going to make the suggestion that we pass this on to Mr. Vormacher respectfully, that the fire prevention's document here is A, unclear, and B, it's, I don't know what the right adjective is, but it's ambiguous. Yes, that's one word.
I think it's unenforceable.
It's unenforceable.
Well, it's not enforceable because it's not an ordinance. But when they tell somebody that you should extinguish the fire prior to leaving the site,
That's
no,
not-
you must extinguish the fire before leaving the site.
Stan
I have a
has a
comment from the beginning, so thank you. I was reading the state document that was also circulated. Somebody forwarded it to
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
And the dimensions 3 feet, 3 feet, and 2 feet, that was in the state document as well. So that ambiguity was just copied. You know.
And I'm curious as to, I mean, a 2-foot fire isn't that big.
No.
When you have a pit that's 3 feet by 2 feet or whatever, it's a good-sized pit. I'm guessing the fire could at times get higher than 2 feet high. That's why I'm thinking that
When
the
it
pit,
starts out, particularly if they throw an accelerator on it.
well, accelerants are not allowed. I think that's something that they're clear about in here. I think they say something about accelerants.
That's why they have treated wood, because some of the treatments could be an accelerant.
No, the treatments are in there, they don't want treated wood,
Right.
because usually chemicals in there like arsenic,
Which are going-
which, you don't want that burning off and getting into your lungs.
Right.
Pressure treated wood and plywood are the two. Pressure treated wood, I think, has chloroform in it.
No, chloroform is volatile, it's not there at the time, no. But there are lots of various copper compounds today.
There's several compounds that are in
Yeah, and
different woods.
I'm not sure whether it's still toxic at this level, but the law says no treated wood.
Yeah, it says that in the DEP's regulations also.
We gotta get moving. Look at this. This is the radar.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
How far away?
It's
Yeah.
over Philly. It's in New Jersey. It's South Jersey.
It's actually, it's the way I'm coming in.
It's
may
going to
miss
come
it.
through before we get it.
No, it's hitting us, but it's not missing us.
We're going to get it.
Well,
Hopefully not.
maybe if we stay 1 hour longer, then
Okay.
it will be balanced and then we can...
Let's move on to the approval of the minutes.
I realized I revised the minutes taking into account Arnie's corrections, but I never sent out that revised version.
So I would suggest that instead of going through that, I would suggest we table those minutes so we can move forward, since everybody wants to push this meeting forward. Table the minutes and do it again.
Move it for the next meeting,
Is
which
that
will
okay?
be the
Yeah.
21st,
That works.
right? Next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
I support that.
Okay, so if we do that, does that need a motion, or we just accept tabling?
Second it.
Second, all in favor?
I
So,
abstain.
minutes reading is taken. Next thing is to, the motion to open the floor for public comment, and we have a different wording. It says, "The meeting will be open to the public, provide time for comments and/or questions related to the agenda. Individual public comment is 1 minute to 5 minutes for each person."
Right, but we...
That's how we worded it. We changed it a little bit.
No, but when I looked through the minutes, it was not voted on to change the subject matter of the first public session versus the second public session. The only, that vote failed. The only vote that went through was for the minutes changed from 3 to 5.
She's correct.
Yeah,
Good.
You're correct.
So I can start a timer.
Okay. Well,
We have to open to public.
Let's do it, let's talk for
I second.
Second.
Thanks, you got the papers in the rack. So, being that there's no public present,
Who's
I asked, he already nodded no.
He's just mute.
Opting not to utilize this public session to make suggestions for the PC
Second.
second.
He wasn't like a new
Okay,
protocol.
so now we close it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, correspondence, is there any correspondence?
We have some email.
Okay.
Did you usually go first, so you have nothing?
No, I have, there's a couple of...
We'll wait on though. Is that okay? Because I have a bunch and these aren't due till 29.
Okay, well...
Is that okay to do that, or okay?
So if I can read the emails, we got one email through our website from Eleanor Ogden.
yeah.
She, we know her, okay.
She's the frequent attender.
Right.
She said, can you have a building with both solar-ready roof and green roof? How does this work? Is there special construction for this kind of roof? So I'm not the expert on this, so is there, who feels confident answering this?
I think Robin and I were both, so it's possible to do it that way.
Different parts of the roof,
Yeah,
for
different parts.
different purposes.
Right, and it depends on the green roof.
And then she wrote again, saying, I read Dr. Chase's minutes of the June 26th meeting. I did not hear his response during the meeting because of the discussion of whether the committee should have public session time. My question is, can a building have area of green where the roof and sidewall is so that ivy or some other vine can grow down the wall from the roof, thereby covering the building with plants and still be solar ready to accept panels? Is this even possible with heat and watering of plants? Is this too much weight for the roof that the roof cannot handle?
The answer is there are two types of green roofs. One with, basically...
Let's start with this.
I'll answer. All right.
Agree with you.
Let me answer. I know Eleanor.
Okay.
I will do that. Say,
And we heard a lot about this at the planning.
We did.
And it was all the stuff I've been researching.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while.
That's it.
Okay? There are no real site plans, the only thing we're going to leave till next month, next meeting rather.
Well, no, you have 2, but I have 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so those aren't due, so we're gonna do the 6 that I did.
These don't require anything from us. Yeah, but these don't require anything from us at all. These are internal changes in the building that doesn't affect the outside.
Oh, okay, well, and if that's the case, I could just write the memos then.
Yeah. Both of these, Stein just is changing property lines. Nothing happens to that one at all. And this one, Parkwood, Somerset, is, again, that's the medical place where they're subdividing inside and putting some other stuff, and actually reducing the number of parking spaces.
What does it mean by changing property?
They're taking a lab in one
Private
part,
property.
inside the building, all inside the building. They're not doing anything on the outside.
Property lines?
Oh, that one
Looking at
is
those,
fine.
I guess
They're changing, because there's differences between the 10 houses that are next to the solar field that they're constructing. They got to change the property lines to delineate, because those houses are being sold off. They're not going to be part of the property. So they had to read, if that's what it is. I mean, that's what they're doing.
And it was some very small distance.
Yeah, there's no environmental aspects to that, it's just on paper, moving lines.
Well, this is, well,
Yes, yes.
you have to be sure that
Pervious surface is important.
They're not
I mean,
doing
be
it.
concerned that the requirements of the zoning,
That's why they go into the board.
you know, but there's no.
Yeah. So, that takes care of site review.
No, I
No?
have
Oh, you-
four, I have four, plus those, we just did those two, right? So I have four that I have to present.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
and we have one more that we'll wait till next time, which is
Yeah.
fine. Okay, so let me just go down so a few are resubmittals, which is good. So the first one we'll look at is 31 Voorhees LLC. This is located at Somerset Street and Blair Avenue. What I basically did was, this is our previous memo from April 25th, and I just marked it up with the new submittal to kind of show what the changes were.
Thank you.
The change, so this place was proposing the installation of a green roof as part of the mixed-use building, so we were happy about that. The April submission had only called for the planting of 8 trees and 164 shrubs. The June submission now calls for 26 trees and 164 shrubs, so not a huge increase, but a little bit of an increase, I guess. The June submission also shows that the impervious coverage is still at 90%, and the building lot coverage is still exceeding the 75% limitation, so that hasn't changed. Even though in our memo, we had said, we think you should try and bring the impervious coverage down if possible. They did add the anti-idling signage to the plans, which was really good. And we had recommended a bike rack, and they did put a bike rack on the property. So that was the resubmission as it relates to us. I'm just trying to see if I have anything else for that. If you want, I can bring up anything else about it, unless you...
That's the
you're
medical
ready for
building, the
that.
small medical building, 3,700 square feet?
That is, yes, that's the, Okay, so then the next one is, let's go to Davidson Plaza, New Jersey LLC. So the original submission was in May, a submission came in June. Our comments were that they needed to have 3 EV charging stations. This is at 220 Davidson Avenue, by the way. And I can pull up the sheet on this if you want. We had recommended they needed 3 EV charging stations, so those are shown on the plans, the updated plans. We had recommended that the site be prepared for future electrified trucks and that they have the 200 kilowatt EV charging capacity. That wasn't addressed in what was submitted. They are under the requirement to have 58,300 square feet of their roof set aside for solar ready under the New Jersey law. They actually allocated over 50% of the roof for solar, and a solar array, not just solar ready, but solar array. So that was, I thought, really good.
Yeah.
They also included a 3,000 square foot solar battery storage area at the southeastern, just south of the southeastern corner of the warehouse. So that was another addition. The impervious coverage, they were at 69% in a zone that only permits 60%. So they have, through different increases in planting and adding some lawn in, they actually now have reduced it by 460 square feet. So they've made some changes.
How low does it drop the percentage to?
So they're below the 60, originally they were at 69%, they reduced it by 460 feet. I have to go look real quick into the
So if they're
calculation.
at 68%, we can still ask for more.
No, they're actually,
You think it brings them below the 60?
no, I'm sorry, they're not below the 69, but they are at what was there existing.
Oh,
So,
And what was that?
Before
I think it was like 65 maybe, or 66, something
Well,
like
that's the
that.
one where they're taking down the warehouse.
Yes,
Building that,
correct.
so they had the coverage from the
Right.
office building was greater.
Yeah.
And they pulled it down.
This one, we have questions previously about the tree replacement table, so now that is there, it includes, and it shows that they're removing 100 trees. They'd be required to plant 197 trees, and they are planting 260 trees, which are mostly evergreens.
And on the subject of tree tables, it is on the Rutgers list that serviceberry is a shrub.
I saw that, we sent it, yes, I saw
So
that.
that list may be handy to keep around,
Mhm,
so we can check
absolutely.
things.
Yeah. They did add the anti-idling signage like we requested, and they did add a bike rack to this recent submission. So that was a, update on that. The other one I have is Anda's Caterers. This is located this is a new one, 3509 and 3081 Route 27. They are actually requesting a use variance, so it's no new construction. They're using the existing commercial building to put in a restaurant and a banquet
The restaurant's
facility.
already there.
What
They're
building is
dividing the
this?
space, and half the space will be the catering, and half
Right.
the space will be.
Where is this building, what building?
This is,
27.
I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know where 3057 is. Does somebody know the name of this restaurant?
hang on, I can pull it up. I think I have it. This is right here.
3081 would be nowhere near each other. This
Might be a
is
typo.
probably the Kingston Shopping Center.
So it's this lot and this lot.
Yeah, it says the parking is gonna be off-site, the additional parking.
Yes, so the parking is gonna be on this lot. This existing building is what they're going to use.
All right, tell me what is what? Where are we on 27?
So this
Okay, this is Franklin Park.
This is Route 27 here. Let me get the closest intersection
Give me a
without
landmark.
losing my eyes here. Hold on, I gotta get
We're going up to the right.
but it's not labeled. I have to get to the parcel viewer. Just give me 1 sec here. Because on the list, they can name the roads there. Okey doke, I think I got turned around here. All right, where was it? I think it's right, this one? Yeah. Okay, so this is Route 20, this is the lot right here, right? Am I the right one? This one and this one.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, all right, now I got my bearings, so just give me a second to zoom out. So,
That's the cross street right next to it.
those are the lots. I'm trying to see if they have labeled the streets, if they, I don't know why the label.
Even across the street, but
We're buying out the Tasty Sub Shop?
Oh, no, they better not be.
they gotta fix the traffic.
That's what
I
it
don't know,
is.
is it the Tasty Sub Shop?
There was a Tasty Sub Shop,
What's
and then
this?
there's
Let me see what this is.
a childcare facility next to it.
All right, I see the church, I see the church
Aberration
now.
Inc., do you know what this is, anybody? or-
There's a shopping restaurant and
Strip mall.
Okay, so you guys know where this is?
Yeah.
a hookup parlor.
So what they want to do is use the existing building. Half of it's, or it's a little less than half, I think, is going to be the restaurant. They want to have a banquet facility within. They're not making any new construction. Restaurant is an allowable use in the zone, neighborhood business zone. Banquet facilities are not. So even though the banquet facility will be in the same building and associated with the restaurant and owned by the same restaurant owner, technically a banquet facility is not called upon, is not allowed in
Are we
a
talking
zone.
about this building?
Now,
Next to it,
that's
next
the,
to it.
uh,
The one in blue.
The one,
the one on the left, that's the old
Little
Franklin
Genius,
Park.
Planet, Frank.
Not
Little
Franklin
Genius,
Park,
What's the one?
School.
It's this lot and this lot, this long blue one and this,
So all those trees are gone.
yes.
Tasty Sub Shop.
Yes, it's Tasty Sub Shop.
Yeah.
is that the restaurant?
It's a sub shop, yeah, but they're gonna make it into,
The
yeah.
catering facility.
Well, you could take the whole back of that and make parking out of it.
So, what they're proposing basically is they have to have 104 parking spaces based on zoning and based on their traffic analysis. They can't fit the 104 spaces on the property, so they're looking to put the remaining 29 spaces right next to it on this lot there. So they're not, the only construction they're doing is the parking area, but there's no new building construction, they're literally just looking for a use variance.
And it's all paved.
And it's already paved, it's using the existing building.
I mean, the parking area looks like it.
What's the name of this
But then I found it, it just, where.
Andaz, A-N-D-A-A-Z.
That's more than enough.
A-N-D-A-A-Z, Caterers, LLC.
Yeah, they're not moving into the.
That's what we're zoned for.
And what is in this building right now?
Since they
Childcare.
vacated.
Yeah, it's a commercial.
That's the old Kingston School,
Not Kingston.
Phillips School.
Phillips
Yes.
School, right, that's what I was trying to remember.
Yes.
Middle Genius Club.
They just listed it as a commercial building.
So they're gonna make that a restaurant?
No,
The building's gonna be part restaurant and part banquet facility, so all within the same existing
The
building.
existing restaurant is in that L-shaped building at the rear.
They're moving up here.
And the parking.
What's the green, above?
Here, I'm gonna pull it up.
That's a board,
They're not
right
touch- are they touching the trees or?
Right there.
That's a playground, that's not a building. This is a
They
building.
needed 29 spaces.
Technically, under zoning, under our zoning code, they do need the 29 spaces.
I went to school in that building.
So that's one recommendation. Maria's made a good recommendation, I think, which is, she said, do they really need the 29 spaces? So the reason they need the 29 spaces is because our zoning requires it.
Right.
So maybe we make the recommendation that we don't force them to have the 29 spaces, this way they don't have to worry about, unless they want they might want the 29 spaces.
Well, the big question here is, are they buying out those two lots, or are they arranging to use their parking, or part of the lots for
Because
their
there's parking
parking?
in their spaces.
No, my understanding is that they're going to own those lots.
And they're gonna
That's
buy
my
parking.
understanding, yes.
I can tell you that intersection with everybody going in and out of Tasty Stuff is so dangerous. And I know that's a state
You
issue.
don't want to turn left into that,
To buy tires
No.
on there.
any of those
Yeah,
facilities
it's,
there.
cars are lined up to go in there. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Could it be,
So if they could reduce parking, I think that's a good idea. Plus, it's better for the environment.
I mean,
Compared to what?
I don't agree with it. So is a good recommendation to the planning board, that, to the zoning board, that they do not require the 29 spaces if the applicant doesn't want it?
Right. We want to reduce impervious and the
Yeah.
traffic hazard.
Cold cuts this process.
Okay.
If the applicant doesn't need the 29 spaces, they would welcome this.
Yeah, if they don't need it, yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy with
They got
it.
that whole wall behind them.
I was gonna say, they probably do want it, but,
Well, probably, it depends on how many, the real question is, how many seats are they gonna have in their banquet
So there's a
facility?
drawing that
there
shows.
was, the restaurant
It isn't
is
big.
small.
Restaurant, I think, at 8
those
tables.
rings, are those rings? Lines?
What'd you say, I'm sorry?
I was looking at the map and I see those lines, were those lines parking spots too?
These?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought they were more, you know, I'm talking.
Yeah, well, because it's gonna be a restaurant and a banquet facility, so I'm wondering, you know, they always plan for. Just forwarded the email. Other big days.
Every time I submit it. Yeah, I think it's in the site plan.
Oh, wait, no, it wasn't in the site plan, it's in the, hang on, it's in the amount of space, you wanted to know the amount of,
The roast floor plate.
oh, you know where it is? No, I know where it is. It's in the traffic study. Yeah, because that's how they determine how many seats you need, is how many parking spaces. Here we go. So,
There's a picture.
the party room will have 100 seats, and there's 54 seats in the restaurant. So 100 seats in the banquet room and 54 seats in the restaurant.
And how many parking spaces there in total?
So they're required to have 104 parking spaces based on our zoning and their traffic studies. So they go through by the use, the traffic engineer, to figure out based on the seats and how many trips, how many seats they need. So
How many seats are there and how many parking spaces?
there's 100 seats in the banquet portion, 54 in the restaurant. So 154 seats, they're required to have 104 parking spaces.
Just one.
54 seats, 104 parking places?
54 seats in the restaurant, 100 in the banquet facility,
Oh.
104 parking spaces.
They need to
required.
downsize.
They only have 75 spaces
Are we
on
talking
site.
about a buffet
That's what
that's
it is.
always in
That's
and out,
what it
or
is.
just a restaurant?
I don't know what kind of restaurant it is, it just says restaurant.
They're
With
gonna have,
seats, it has
I
seats,
bet
so.
that parking is gonna be empty for,
Yeah.
Next station.
Yeah.
They're ambitious, I
because
think they need to downsize.
if it's a buffet, I understand that there's gonna be traffic, people going
Yeah.
in and out, but if it's not a buffet,
Yeah.
like all you can eat, I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
Where was it, there was a drawer?
Take the bus.
Doing violating impervious area,
Are they what?
violating impervious area.
No, because it's existing and it's there's no new construction
So that
proposed.
shows that
There's another
daycare
drawer.
facility is still there.
They will convert the daycare facility to
That's it.
market without
There's
construction.
one at your table.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what
So,
you're saying.
so they're going to convert the existing building for children to be banquet.
Half banquet and the other part
Now,
restaurant,
wait a
yes.
minute, this does not include the Tasty Sub Shop, this is the IHOP.
At the IHOP.
This is,
Right in the driveway is the IHOP, left of it is the daycare center.
existing
And what
school,
they showed is that they're retaining the building of the existing school.
IHOP, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to an IHOP.
That's when you went to school, right?
Yeah, Phillips School. Kindergarten, first grade. Second grade, we were in split sessions, because I was one of those baby boomer generations.
So what happened?
There's no new construction, they're just seeking a use variance, because even though in this zone, restaurants are allowed and services that cater to food and drink are allowed, a banquet facility is not specifically allowed, so they're seeking a use variance.
From traffic, I would stand up against it, but I guess I have to go.
Yeah. For traffic, yeah. I do think if we want to make the recommendation that there's a reduction in that, we could maybe waive the parking requirement if the applicant is willing, which they might not be, but we can always make that recommendation.
You would think with 100 seat banquet, 50, 60 cars, 70 cars is a lot.
Yeah, you would.
Would our recommendation be based on impervious surface? Because our recommendation has to be an environmental recommendation.
Yeah, so,
Would that be the
yeah.
basis of our recommendation?
Well, yeah, because where they're going to have to put new parking, they're gonna have to remove some trees and take out some lawn area, so yeah, it would make sense not to have that, especially on Route 27, where it already is so much impervious.
Big paved
Well, this seems to show that they're just putting additional parking around the edge of the Phillips School lot.
Right.
So where are they doing it on the IHOP?
Here, yeah.
8 o'clock.
It's because this is just a variance application. No, this is a different application. The one you're talking about was for, I think, it was like a food restaurant somewhere. This is a different application. Yeah, you're thinking of something else, yeah. That one we reviewed at the last meeting, yeah. We reviewed that at the last meeting, yeah. So are we okay with just making the recommendation for the reduction in parking requirements?
And when is this going before the planning?
It says TBD right now, so I can keep an eye on it and let you know. And then actually, then the other one, actually, we are not gonna do tonight because we have to review a more recent submittal, so that was it, 4. And the 2 that Paul showed, I mean, I can just write those up if we're good with that, and so that's it. Yeah, I'll take them home.
Are they putting additional parking on the IHOP lot, or are they just showing that as part of the site plan?
No, it looks like they were putting additional parking on the IHOP lot too.
Then IHOP is closed?
I don't know, actually, if it's closed or
No,
not.
it's not closed. But there's that mall behind. People
Oh,
work
so
there.
there's parking here.
Okay, I think that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So then we're into new business.
Yes.
And the first item is the community energy plan, which we have some.
Can I recommend that we come early for the next meeting so we can knock off a few more of those as a work
Sure.
session?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the community energy plan, we did some work on today. We're basically going through the strategies, but I sent everyone the model plan I started working on, so you have that, you can still look at it, look through it. And, yeah, like Robin said, maybe the next meeting, if anyone wants to come at 6:30
So
or...
are we allowed to gather in larger amount, more than quorum, to discuss it, or?
We can have a work session, we can have like a working group, so it would be, when we were here, we had just like a select number of people, but if anyone wants, maybe let me know if you can come or want to come, and then we can figure it out that way.
So
But for a working session, is there a limit?
To not, I mean, for a working session, I think,
If we're not voting on anything.
yeah, but I think there is still, like, if the people that are working on it, there can only be a certain amount of people, it can't be a quorum. Yeah, it cannot be a quorum.
So that's the 3 people.
Yeah. So maybe before the next meeting, if you can let me know if you're interested in coming, and then we can work it out that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, I briefly read through that, I have some comments here, some of them are just typographical.
Okay, yeah, if you just send it
I
to
could
me.
just send it.
Yeah, if you send it to me, and,
you.
yeah, I'll go through it, because I'm still working like on it as a draft as we go, so I'm still be making changes.
Okay. So then,
I even went into my course files and found out the CO2 equivalent for nitrous oxide.
Oh, good for you. You can share it with me, and we can put it in there. Okay, thank you.
now, so that's A. B is support for recovery of America's Wildlife Act. That's something new? It's on the new business.
Yes, so Ted had asked, he didn't ask, he sent around an email, that was,
Right.
you know, a pledge, but, who was it from, Ted, you know better?
National Wildlife.
National Wildlife. So there's a Recovering America's Wildlife Act, and I sent around the text of the bill, and there's some information out there about it, but basically, there was a call from National Wildlife Federation, like, hey, if you're interested in supporting this, that would be great and really helpful. I thought maybe if everyone had a chance to review it and wanted to, we could send like a resolution of support for it.
Yes.
It really also focuses on how important native vegetation is for pollinators and how it has a huge impact. So, I don't know if everyone had a chance to look at it, but I can draft a support resolution or...
I mean, just,
That would be great.
just towards Yellowstone and such, we got lectured on how the rules they introduced are now keeping the population stable. It made a good thing happen when they got the rules
Yeah.
back there.
The elk, because otherwise the elk were eating all of the alders.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so now everything's more in balance. And that sounds like this is what they're trying to do.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
know, what
Yep.
14 red wolves in
Yeah.
eastern North Carolina are keeping stable, but they're hanging
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, okay. So then, so we'll do that, and you're gonna put that together?
I can draft it if you're interested and bring it to the
Sure.
next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Recovering America's Wildlife, okay. Draft, so
Now, the C is the Lower Watershed Partnership Annual Report.
I sent it around just for everyone to review, so it's not really, there's nothing for us to do, but I just wanted to let you know that they published their annual report.
Okay. What is the date for Franklin Day?
September 22nd, right?
23rd.
29th?
22nd.
Let me look. I thought it was the 22nd, but hang on.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have the banner, and I have some literature.
September 17th is Sunday, I think. So it must be Friday.
23rd is a
I
Saturday.
know it's
So
So it's
the
23rd, yeah.
23rd.
The 23rd, okay. And that's like 9 o'clock, or what time do they get, somewhere around there?
It starts at 12, doesn't it? Noon to 5.
I believe, oh, you saw it? I was looking for it because it used to be right on the front page. You saw it pop up?
Yeah, just go down, yeah, go back to the, scroll down, no, the Township, and that's where you want to go.
Oh, our township, okay.
And it's like-
Oh, Franklin Day Festival, there you go, thank you, easy, okay. September 23rd, 12 to 5 at Colonial Park.
Right, okay.
I put in our application for a table, so we have one, so we can figure out what we want to put there. I do have some of those anti-idling and stop the soot giveaways
Yeah.
still we can bring if we want. We can bring some information about adopt a drain, you know.
It'd be great to have something vertical to get people's attention. That's why I think, ask Adopt a Drain, can we buy some of that stuff?
Yes.
I'll pay for it.
Right, yeah, so,
Something that
yeah.
has some pizzazz to make people walk over to the table.
Yeah, we have nothing to hand out like we did past years.
No giveaway.
Remember, Walter?
No light bulbs.
No light bulbs. Okay. I did, this advertisement, this, on the county level, the 4-H fair is in,
Oh, yeah, Wednesday,
It's
Thursday,
Wednesday, Thursday,
Friday,
Friday, the
yeah.
4-H fair.
I'll be
I'm
there.
making lemonade
I
stand.
have to work on Thursday.
Where?
What's the name of that park? It's
North
on
Branch,
206,
North Branch
Branch.
Park.
You get down 206, the first right after the trestle by Wegmans. You get down past Wegmans and make a right turn in the park, big park.
And when is it?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
This week,
This week.
Somerset County.
I'm selling lemonade on Wednesday from 11 to 3.
$5 a cup?
I think we get 3. I don't remember anymore. I got my pink shirt from last year. Okay. Reports from the subcommittees. Are there any reports?
No, okay.
Moving on.
Nothing? Okay. Hot topics?
No, I think the bill is
Yeah.
there, you know.
The next meeting for the B9 warehouse is in September, and may or may not be the last. I don't know. They're getting it.
On hot topics, I'm going to go to the council meeting tomorrow night, and in the public session, I'm going to talk about the advantages of green roofs,
Okay.
because the planning board did approve
Oh,
the green roof, last week.
the other thing from an environmental standpoint is they're going to be passing the ordinance to ban bamboo. Yeah.
So I want to be able to speak to, we have these new inland flooding roofs. Green roofs are coming to Franklin. We want to do as much as we can to encourage them,
Right.
more than just the bare state minimums. And we encourage the council to be open to that, because we have proposed it in the past and will continue to propose.
Right.
At 7 o'clock meeting?
Yeah.
Now, what we learned at the planning board meeting is that the green roofs, the slopes will be very slight. I had thought it would be like this, but no, very slight slopes. They have trays of sedum, which Robin can tell you about. It's low growing and it puts up flowers, but it survives. I mean, it grows virtually on rocks, and spaces between bricks and things like that.
It's a ground cover. essentially.
Oh, wow,
It's a ground
great.
cover. So that's what they would have on the roof.
Because that's
And the green walls, they will have stainless steel cables running down, both in the front and I think on the back, so away from the actual physical facade.
Oh.
And they will plant vines at the bottom that will grow up these cables.
That's interesting. Yeah.
We had talked about, just to remind everybody, we had talked about doing an environmental achievement award for whoever did a green roof.
Yeah.
And it's getting there.
Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go.
I apologize, this store was literally like 2 minutes from my house.
Okay.